Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I will be beating Dark Souls 3 with Dark Hand only. Now, I know I didn't upload last week, and that was mainly just because of the holidays. I was a little more busy, and so unfortunately I was not able to upload then, but I have this video out now. Rules are pretty simple. I can only use the Dark Hand. The Dark Hand, I spawned it in, but usually you could get it actually pretty early after the first boss. So realistically, I could have just used a club to get it, but I just wanted to do the entire run with the weapon. And another thing about the Dark Hand is it cannot be upgraded. So throughout the entire run, the only way I will get increased damage is by raising some of my stats. Now, let's get started. Now, kicking it off with Gunder, it's really not too hard because you're not supposed to have these weapons at this point, so it does pretty solid damage against the guy. And so I'm able to kill him in just about 10 hits. And so it's not very hard to take out Gunder, especially because the attacks are pretty easy. Moving on. After making it to Firelink Shrine, I make sure to level up with the souls I got from Gunder, because once again, that's the only way I'm going to get increased damage is based off of the stats. So yeah, and then I also make sure to get rid of that Ashen Estus Flask, because the special move of the Dark Hand only works on humanoid NPCs, and that's not very good for me, so I rather just have health flasks. While attempting to leave the high wall of Lothric, I get stopped by Vort, and so I absolutely pummel him because I'm not supposed to have this weapon yet, and it's just generally pretty good. It's even fairly good late game depending on what you use. Moving on. After reaching Undead Settlement, I make sure to go talk to Yorm, because this would be the guy that you'd originally go through to get the Dark Hand, but I know he gives some free levels, and I want them, and so I end up talking to him and progressing his storyline for the time being. But I end up only getting 2 of his levels, because I forget that you have to get the levels, you have to die 10 times and collect them before killing the Abyss Watchers to actually take advantage of all of it. So I only used them twice, but that was 2 free levels. Moving on. I make sure to go talk to the giant so he isn't peppering me with arrows the entire time I'm here. Then I decide to go take on this demon over here, mainly because I just want his souls for extra level ups. And then also because I was considering doing Sigurd's quest line to kill Yorm. Another thing, I just killed Yorm with Storm Ruler. I definitely could have just killed him with the Dark Hand, but it just would have taken an hour, and I don't want to do that. It's possible, but I just don't care enough to do that, to be real. And then I backtrack to go kill the Curse-Rotted Greatwood, even though I couldn't really use the Transposing Kiln. I wanted to just get the levels from it, in the souls. And so I thought, might as well go take out this guy. But it ended up taking me 30 minutes to kill him, which is insane, by the way. I don't know how he took me that long, because I think the first, the other 3 first bosses only took me 10 minutes total. I first tried all of them, except this guy. This guy took me 30 minutes for no reason, and he's the easiest boss in the game, which I'm really disappointed in myself for that one, to be real. It was not great, but eventually I pushed through, and I killed the stupid tree. Moving on. Now this guy was the first major roadblock in the run. Not damage-wise, because I did plenty fine damage to him. It's mainly just I'm not great at the Abyss Watchers fight, and I don't think I've ever been great at the Abyss Watchers fight, especially because Dark Souls 3 is my least played Dark Souls game, and so I'm just not really great at any of the fights, to be honest. But yeah, no, I got a really good RNG here, I felt with the clones, or not the clones, but the extras, and then second phase is always just miserable because I feel I'm always getting hit by the after effects of his sword. in like his main combos, and there's just nothing I can do about that. But I just kind of spam Estus and I come out on top, because a lot of the fights I had trouble with, I just like got a lot more Estus beforehand, or as much Estus as I could, because given this part of the game I can't really get many Estus shards. But yeah, and I definitely could have just gone for the Crystal Sage first, but to be honest, it's been so long since I played the game, I didn't remember where the Crystal Sage was, so I just ended up at these guys first and just powered through until I took them out. Moving on. Onto Wolnir, which he isn't very difficult. I've never really had trouble with this guy. I've usually been able to kill him in like 2 or 3 attempts. I died like once just because I kind of forgot you can't like get right up on him because there's like a poison effect down there. But after remembering like actually how to fight him, because it's been so long, I eventually just was able to punch the bracelets off, because yeah, this guy is not very tough and he's only got like 3 attacks. But I feel like I got luckier too, because I didn't see him actually summon any skeletons, and I feel like sometimes he can summon skeletons, but I'm not 100% sure. But moving on. After running to the wiki, I'm able to remember where Crystal Sage lives, so I'm able to pull up. And honestly, I feel like this is the best Crystal Sage fight I've ever done, because I don't know, I was just locked in, and I knew their position every time. Like, I just knew where the clone was. Like, I don't know how I did it, but like, I think I only messed up once on guessing who the clone was, and I think it was on this last one, but the right guy was literally just right next to him. Yeah, no. I think I just remembered that the magic was purple from the main guy, and that's a very good trick to just know. Just so you guys can see the effect of the LT attack, that's what it does. And this is like the one time I used it in the run. Just so you like know what it actually does. While going through the Cathedral of the Deep, I did grab the Lloyd Sword Ring, but I actually lost the footage to that. I actually lost the footage to quite a bit of this because it was recorded over such a long period of time. A lot of my files actually got corrupted, and I really don't know how, to be real. I don't know if there's anything I can do to like try to prevent that. I don't know if like putting it on a Google Drive would help. Which, if it does, I don't know, I'll probably look into ways to prevent that from happening, because I lost a lot of footage on this run, but luckily, I didn't lose any bosses. I thought I did for a minute, but I skinned through and I got really lucky here, so I'm glad about that. The reason I'm talking about that is because there's nothing much to say about the Deacons of the Deep. It's not a great fight, it's just like a gank fest, especially at the end when you have to like wade through the crowd just to get to the main guy to do damage. But yeah, no, after just swinging for a while, I clear him out. With the Deacons defeated, I am allowed access into Irithyll, which allows me to get to 2 out of the 4 Lords of Cinder. The first of those 2 lords being Yorm. He wasn't too hard given the fact that he's a Stone Ruler, and honestly, if I might have maybe considered killing him with the Dark Hand if it didn't take an hour. Like, if it was maybe like 15 minutes maybe. But it would most certainly take an hour because fist attacks don't swing very high. So it'd be very hard to actually hit the crits on his head, I found. And so, yeah, I just had a hard time with it myself. I mean, I'm not great at Dark Souls 3, so that's probably a contributing factor, but yeah. But I just decided to use the sword. Moving on. Now with Pontiff Sullivan, I allowed myself to use a shield, because I'm not dealing damage with it. First and foremost, I'm not dealing damage with it, so I think it should just not matter. And 2, because that's like the only way I know how to fight this guy low-key. Like, I definitely could learn how to dodge his attacks, but that would just take, like, a day of, like, consistently, like, fighting this guy. And I don't want to do that. And so, yeah, another circumstance of I don't care enough to do that much extra for just one guy. So, yeah, that's not happening. But with parries, it's pretty easy, especially because, you know, the Dark Hand is like low-key like holding up surprisingly well. Like, I mean, I'm doing good damage to Pontiff, like, as you can see. But moving on. Now, I was having a lot of trouble killing Alder, so I decided I would go kill some other, like, side bosses and maybe Dancer and progress down that way, just so I could get some more levels and then take on Alder, mainly because I just hate his, like, spell spam, and it, like, always hits me, like, I swear. And so that fight's always just been a trouble for me. But yeah, no, Old Demon King, it really wasn't awful, especially because I'm somehow doing some good damage against him, like 300 a swing, or never mind, it's 100. No, I was looking wrong. But yeah, no, it's really not that bad, to be honest. But and his attacks are pretty easy to dodge, and so this was like my third try with the guy, and I was able to get him down. Especially because the other time, because this is the second time I played Dark Souls, I didn't fight this guy, because I mainly just did this, or I mainly did the base game and the DLC. Which is another thing about this run, is I forgot to do Nameless King, and I didn't intend on doing the DLC, because I just wouldn't have time for it, because I killed Soul of Cinder like today as of editing this. And so I needed to get this video out, and then I also just don't really enjoy the Dark Souls 3 DLC, to be honest, because the only good boss in there for me is Gale. But yeah, and there goes the boss. On to Dancer, another boss that I usually have some trouble with actually killing, but this time around it actually wasn't too bad. I only died to her like 5 times, so that's better than 20. Last time it was 20, so I don't know exactly, but I think I just kind of remembered her moveset this time around, because it's really not that bad, and it's definitely a lot better fighting her with a fast weapon, so you can get a lot of like counter hits in. But yeah, no, the fight was not actually too bad. You mainly just have to not get caught in her spinning moves in the second phase, because those can just stun lock you, and then you're just insta-killed because you can't move, and you're getting hit like 5 or 6 times. But yeah, no, the boss is not too difficult. Moving on. Now, after Dancer, I decided to take on Osiris, because the first time I fought this guy, I killed him in like 3 tries, and so I remember the guy being pretty easy, and this time around I killed him in 1 try. And so, in my opinion, this guy's low-key pretty easy. I've seen a lot of people, like, his second phase is definitely AIDS when he just does, like, the big sweep attacks, but as long as you can get him in a corner, and he just keeps ramming the corner repeatedly, then you can kind of just keep him in one spot, which is kind of what I did here. I got him to run back there, and then I was able to kind of keep him charging at a wall, and then I could get like a good 2 or 3 punches in, and then just spam heal as soon as I get hit, because inevitably you're gonna get hit because this guy's just flailing at you. But yeah, no, this boss is not too hard, and he gives a lot of souls, which once again, only way to get more damage. So I need to be killing as many bosses as I can for as many souls as I can get my hands on. But yeah, no, after punching and almost getting killed here and running for dear life, how long did it take me to kill this guy? Alright, there we go. Yeah, moving on. Plunge attack, and I get a bunch of free souls. This is like the main reason I came out here, just to kill this guy real quick and get a bunch of souls, because he drops like 100,000 or so. Let me check. 70,000. Not too bad. Moving on. Moving on to Champion Gunder. So, tutorial boss part 2. Definitely a little harder, because his kick, which I don't think I've ever seen him do in tutorial mode, that thing always gets me, but low-key, like in the second part of this fight, I kind of learned how to get around it. But yeah, no, but I really do enjoy this fight. I really feel like this boss is just like it's a fun boss to fight. It's a really fun boss to fight. So, I definitely really enjoy this boss, to be honest. It's probably in my top 5 for Dark Souls 3. Because to be honest, I really feel like the bosses in Dark Souls 3, except for like a select few, are kind of lackluster, to be honest. Like, there's probably like a good 7 bosses that are really good, and the rest are just kind of mid or worse. So, I don't know, it's nice to just see some good bosses in the game. But I mean, I'm not saying that all the bosses are bad. I'm not saying that, just so you guys know. But they're just kind of middle of the road. They're not remarkable in any way. But, yeah, moving on. Now, Dragon Slayer armor my first time around was actually pretty easy, but this time I had a lot of trouble with him. I'm not really sure why. I think last time it was just because I used Frost on him, and I think he's pretty weak to Frost, and so that kind of just annihilated his health bar. But, yeah, no. But after just kind of relearning his moveset after a while of not playing, and kind of just figuring out how to get around the, like, dragons on the side, I eventually was able to take him out after a while. But here's where you can kind of start to see the damage fall off. But we are reaching, like, very late game bosses, so it's kind of expected that I'm not going to be doing great damage every single hit. But it definitely isn't awful damage, but it is pretty bad. But I definitely am able to improve my damage with the help of more levels and actually the Dark Clutch Ring. Now, moving on to Alderich. As I said previously, this guy definitely gives me a lot of trouble. Mainly because I just have a lot of trouble dodging his magic attacks. And so I try to manipulate him as much as possible where I can keep him doing melee attacks, because those are very easy to dodge and allow me to just wail on the boss for a minute. Eventually he does the Arrow Storm, which forces you to run back into that little corner, otherwise you're dead. And then I get caught in that teleport, and then I'm not able to get him in the right corner, and then he does that again. And then here's where you can see where I don't like this boss. And then he just spams projectiles at you as you run towards him to finally get in range and attack him. And after getting 3 swings in, he teleports. Like, the boss is just not very fun to fight, to be real. Like, it's not I guess, it's not the worst boss. It's no Curse Rotted Greatwood, I guess, but, it definitely just the projectile spam is insane work, and I don't really like it, to be real. But, yeah, no. But, other than that, he's really not that difficult, because I eventually kind of learned how to dodge the attacks, because I guess I was just fighting this guy, because this guy probably was the boss I spent the most amount of time on, to be honest. Maybe either this guy or Soul of Cinder, because Soul of Cinder actually was giving me some trouble. Even though first time around I actually got him pretty quickly. But I think I was just using, like, stronger equipment then. Or I had a higher level Estus Flask, because I actually got to 12 Estus at the end because I was having a lot of trouble killing him. And then I also did a lot of soul farming just to, like, help with actually killing him. So you'll see that on the Soul Cinder I'll have like a massive boost in level, and that's just because I went and farmed souls for a minute just to have an easier time killing him, because actually I probably spend more time on him now that I'm thinking about it, because, yeah, or I don't know. But nonetheless, I spent a lot of time on this guy. He gave me a lot of trouble. Definitely one of the worst fights in the run, but overall, not, like, really bad. But, yeah, no, moving on. Now, on to one of my favorite fights. This is definitely in the top, like, 3 in this game, is Twin Princes, because I like the teleporting mid-attack for, like, a different angle. Like, I kind of think that's a cool concept for a boss. And then also I don't know. It's just a fun boss to me. And then I also like that at the second phase, you're targeting his back specifically to actually kill him. And then if you kill like the main guy, you still have to, or if you kill like the guy with the sword, you still have to kill the main guy to actually like beat the fight. I think that's cool. But yeah, no, this fight is definitely just really nice. And then, but yeah, no, this fight was not too bad, but I did spend quite a while on this. It was probably like the third like most time spent on a fight, with 2 and 1 being Aldrich and the Soul of Cinder. But yeah, no, second phase, you're aiming for the back to do the good damage, and I'm trying to stay at full health so I can get the extra damage from the Lloyd Sword Ring, because that's going to be a big help for me. But yeah, no, I'm able to just keep it rolling for a while. But yeah, no, there isn't much to say. I'm kind of just trying to stay behind him as much as possible. I think I kill Lorien like 3 times before I'm able to kill Lothric, or it's at least like 2 or so. Not 100% sure. But I know, this fight, I definitely like that in the second phase though, they add like extra projectiles, but not like too many projectiles. Like, it's fine when they add like 1 or 2, but when it's like a whole swarm of them, it's just too much for me, man. So, yeah, no, I don't, really not much else to add. But as I said earlier, I did not do the Nameless King and the DLC. So if you guys, or the 2 DLCs, but they kind of like merge into 1 DLC, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you guys really want me to though, I can revisit it for another week's video. So let me know down in the comments if you want me to do that. But I'm only going to do that if there's like explicit interest for it. But yeah, no. Now we're on to the final boss, the Soul of Cinder. Now on to my favorite last boss of the entire like Soul series, Soul of Cinder, because I think it's so cool that, well, number 1, he's basically the Dark Souls 1 final boss, but he's also got another phase, which just makes him better. And then also Dark Souls 2's final bosses were kind of lackluster. So, I mean, I guess the competition isn't much, but I love that the first phase is like a variety of like different weapon types. I hate the scimitar one, but every other one I can deal with, but the Pyromancer scimitar one, that one I just run away from when I run into it, because I just cannot. But yeah, no. And then second phase is Gwyn, and it's really fun. Music is incredible, and it's such a good boss, man. It's such a good boss. Definitely like my top 5 for the game too. But yeah, no. And he did take me quite a while. As you can see, I also have some extra levels because I went ahead and leveled, because he took me like a good 3 hours, I'd say, because I just didn't really remember his like moves, especially in the second phase. And because his first phase has like 5 different types, I have to learn the 5 different like whole move sets he can do, and so that kind of just threw me off in the beginning. But eventually I powered through, and I was able to learn how to actually take on this guy, and learn that most of the time you should probably just run away from attacks, to be honest. Because with this guy, like, you can just make him jump towards you and then get some hits in them. Probably should have just done that, but eventually I was able to take out the Soul of Cinder, and with that I was able to beat Dark Souls 3 with only the Dark Hand. Now, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you don't mind leaving a like, maybe commenting and subscribing. And I will be trying to upload more consistently, because I know I've kind of been messing up and just like forgetting a couple of weeks or just not having time or whatever. But hopefully I will be able to get it weekly, and then I almost kind of want to try to do bi-weekly or like 2 uploads a week. But I wouldn't get your hopes up about that. But that might be a maybe. depending on like if I don't do 2 challenge run videos. If it's like 1 random video and 1 challenge run video, then maybe. But yeah, no. Once again, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.